Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Onaverse. What's up? It's me, your boy, Quest. How are you guys doing? Also, I don't really identify as a male, so gender is invented, so whatever. I just feel like everything is made up, so I don't really pay much attention to it. So hi everyone, hello, how are you doing? This episode is going to be a little bit different because I recorded an episode and I wanted it to be a bonus episode, but honestly, I did not have the time to edit it the way that I thought I would. So I'm just going to do a little intro and sort of talk about something else, and then we can get into that episode that was supposed to be the bonus episode, but now it's going to just act as the episode for this week, and then we're going to do bonus episodes in the future, hopefully when I am better organized and I can actually plan out my editing schedule. This week the last couple weeks have been a little bit hectic. A lot's been going on, so I've been scrambling, trying to get things in order and then still keep up with everything that I'm already doing and things that I'm starting to do. So it was just a little hecticity, but we're getting back on schedule. Hi, how has your Wednesday been? How have your last couple of weeks been? I know it's been a minute. I kind of want to do weekly episodes, but then I'm with my schedule right now, I know that I wouldn't be able to keep up with everything, but one day, that's why I was thinking of doing a bonus episode, because I was I want to check in with you guys a little bit more often. 2 weeks is kind of a long time, and there's a lot that happens in 2 weeks, so by the time I record something and come on here, time is relative, so it's not necessarily old news, but it may not be something that you're necessarily interested in hearing about again. Not that it matters, but it might not be something that I'm interested in hearing about 2 weeks later. So when I'm hearing about it then, I'm oh, that's cool, but my podcast is, whatever. I'm not going to want to talk about that or hear about that, stuff like that. Or maybe that's just me. So guys, I want to let you know that this episode is going to be different for a couple of reasons. For one, there's 2 parts to this episode, because there's the episode that was meant to be the bonus episode that's going to be the last half of this episode. Then the first half of this episode, we're going to talk about something that's happening right now. This is coming out, I'm recording this the day before. Today's Tuesday. So this is coming out tomorrow. This is happening right now all over the Twitter news, all over everywhere. So in the bonus portion, which is the, last portion of this episode, we're going to be talking about someone who surprised me a ton. And I am excited to reveal who that is later on. I feel like I'm doing a real reveal thing anyway. But I am surprised and shocked by the performance. This happened a minute ago, so I'm this isn't super brand new anymore, but it's still so exciting. So I'm still excited for that. You can hear all of my energy in it, and I recorded it that same time because I was I want my energy preserved. So it is preserved in that. The other thing that is different about this podcast, I'm all over the place, is that this is gonna be a smoke sesh. So I'm gonna chill. I got my joint roll, and we're just gonna kind of smoke and talk about this craziness that is happening right now and what I think of it. And then I'm really interested in knowing what you guys think of it. If you even heard about it, if you've been keeping up with it, or if you just brushed past it, what are your thoughts? Because it's interesting. It's things that I didn't know about, because honestly, I don't know about everything in the world. I'm not the smartest person on the planet. So we're just going to jump in and get it started. But first, let me light up. And we will get into things. Alright, so let's get into this. So what has been going on that I really wanted to talk about is immigration. And not even immigration into the US, more emigration. So that would be leaving your country of origin. This girl, black girl, went to Bali. And she posted on Twitter about how it was the best decision that she ever made, and she's happy, she's with her girlfriend, she's staying in a place that's less than 3 times the price of what she would have been paying for something else. It's just, she's like, oh, it's my best life, it's everything, and you can do it too, and put a book out and all, and there are a lot of issues with that. A lot of issues that I didn't even know about, because, I mean, honestly, I haven't planned on moving to Bali. Not for any reason, of course, just it was never one of the places where I'm like, yeah, I want to go to Bali. So, in case you have not read the thread, let's kind of go into it a little bit so that you can get a little background. Okay. I'm just going to read this little article that I found. I'm going to take another hit first. And I'm not going to read the whole article. I just wanted to go through and highlight and talk about some things. Just because I'm really interested. And I'm not a comedian, so don't expect me to make a shit ton of jokes. Like I said in my first podcast, I'm honestly just curious about stuff and things. That's it. Stuff and things. Okay, so the story goes. An American digital nomad sparked an ongoing debate on Twitter after she wrote a thread about moving to Bali, and Indonesians called her culturally tone deaf. The thread, which was intended as a guide on how you can thrive in life, starts out with the woman deciding to book a one-way flight to Bali with her girlfriend after spending most of 2019 without work. She has built her own business where she does graphic design and lives in a treehouse for about $400 a month, where she was paying $1,300 a month in Los Angeles for a studio. Same in Florida. You want a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom studio in a prime area, you're going to be paying at least $1,300. So the woman described Bali as the perfect medicine for her physical and emotional health and went on to list the benefits of living there. Safety, low cost of living, luxury lifestyle, and acceptance towards LGBT people. She also shared her positive experience as a Black woman with the Black community in Bali before wrapping the thread with a link to her $30 ebook, which I'm not going to plug because, look, you guys can find it if you want to. I'm not trying to promote this woman. But she has locked her account after people came at her and were like, what the fuck? Because you're just telling everyone to just, hey, move to Bali, it's great, as if Bali has no problems, but every country has issues. And I feel like if you're going to talk about a country that you're living in, you should highlight the issues of those countries. I want to stay in South Korea for a while. I want to live there for a year or two. I cannot see myself going to South Korea, as much as I love it, and being oh my gosh, it's just perfect and everything is great and there's no issues and blah, blah, blah. No, there's going to be issues everywhere, and I feel like it's your responsibility as someone who's going into that country to learn about that country if you want to truly experience it. Otherwise, you are gentrifying that country. Because you're going there with the intent of just living a luxury lifestyle instead of being oh, I'm here to contribute to your overall growth, because that's what it used to be. It used to be we travel, we share ideas, we share knowledge, we intermingle with each other, and we grow and become different and better than the sum of our parts. And that's not what's happening. What's happening is you're going there and you're not even adding yourself to the equation. You are, but your part that you're adding to the equation is negative overall because you're not actually interacting with the real community at all. In order to positively impact somewhere that you are visiting, you have to attain knowledge. And I feel like that was severely lacking, or at least it was not demonstrated at all in the way that she portrayed her experience. And I don't know if it was just to sell things or if that's actually what she experienced, because I haven't read anything. I don't plan to, but it's just the whole point of it is you don't go there and just take advantage of their living situation. Like, the reason why it's so inexpensive is because they're fucking suffering, which is what a lot of people pointed out in the thread. So let's take a look at some of the responses that she got. My dog is just being extra in the background. Okay, so one response is, how have you ensured that moving to Bali and encouraging others to do so isn't contributing to gentrification, i.e. raising prices so natives aren't kicked out, / forcing Balinese to learn English as opposed to expatriates learning Bahasa, and etc.? Which is so true, because we go to these countries and then we don't want to learn their languages. And I'm saying we as in like just the general people, because I know a lot of people that do want to learn the languages of places that they plan on visiting or planning on living, or are planning on living, but there are also a lot of people who go there and they don't even think about that. They don't think about, oh, I want to learn the language. They don't think about that. They're just like, oh, there's a language barrier, but enough people should speak English for me to get by. Like, it's just, you're just assuming that they're going to speak English for you, which is so selfish. This girl had to have gone to private school or something. No offense, just, like, why would you think that's okay? Like, why? Somebody else said, so basically using the privilege of Western education to become upper class in an Asian country where most people can only clean such houses. Yeah, that doesn't sound problematic at all. She pulling a Kim Kardashian. It's actually worse than Kim Kardashian, because at least Kim tries to make herself aware of the issues once she finds out from her PR people that, like, hey, this wasn't good what you did. Except for with that one birthday trip, she was just like, fuck y'all. And I was here for it. I was like, y'all are getting mad and stuff, but they have the money. And if I had the money, I sure as shit would do the same motherfucking thing. I would rent out an entire area somewhere and my family would be chilling. Okay? Like, it would, y'all can act all high and mighty all y'all want because y'all ain't got it like that. And I understand that you have to contribute, like, you know, taking multiple COVID tests and doing all that stuff. Like, I understand that's for your safety, and that's totally fine. And I understand that. I would have probably, like, made a donation or some shit like that, you know, to kind of offset that, just to kind of be a little bit more in the neutral space. Like, okay, I'm doing something a little bit selfish, but let me try to give back to the community, to these, like, food banks, to these hospitals, to these families who are suffering while I'm out here, you know, having a good time. And the only reason why y'all had an issue, and once again I say y'all just in general, not you specifically, but the only reason there was an issue was because she has such a big platform. So a lot of people were seeing it. Whereas there's regular people who are posting them doing all types of wild shit, and it's not necessarily that big of a deal because they don't have that big of a platform. And I get it, like, oh, you want celebrities to be responsible and shit. I don't want to be responsible for everybody else. Like, I'm sorry, let me live my life and do me. And if you have a problem with it, then just don't pay attention. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, ignore me. Do like that one episode of Black Mirror and just have me be a fucking gray blob in your mind whenever you see me pop up. Like, just yeah, because I'm not about to sit here and be constantly apologizing for living my life. Like, I understand that everybody is going through shit, especially now. So it's really important to give back, but at the same time, you can't spend all of your life worrying about, oh, I can't do this because other people can't do this. I can't do that because other people can't do that. They were safe. They had their little fun. They stimulated that little island a little bit. They made sure everybody was safe so that they didn't bring anything onto that little island. Like, you know, I would have did some shit like that. I wouldn't have necessarily rented out an island, but maybe like a big ass building or like a whole casino or something. Or like a whole hotel, like whole top floor or something. I don't know. I don't got the money like that yet, so we'll see when I get there. But basically, hey, educate yourself first and foremost about everything. That's the most important thing that you can do. So at least Kim Kardashian educates herself, except for that trip where she didn't give a fuck. But this girl, like, I hope that she educates herself. I mean, she got deported after she went viral. So there's that. And then there's a lot of people like, oh, well, how many white people has this happened to? I don't know, but I feel like it's happened. I definitely feel like it's probably happened. Especially, like, as soon as you go to a different country and you start causing trouble or some shit, like, you're gone. So, her issue, her causing trouble was publicly telling all these other people how to break the law, how she broke the law to get into this country because she overstayed her visa, which we haven't gotten to yet in the story. But yeah, she overstayed her visa. So yeah. And another response is, don't glamorize Bali. Don't glamorize a place so poor that its citizens heavily rely on tourism, foreign investors, and rich expats. Don't glamorize being one with nature on some spiritual healing BS in a country that murders indigenous people because it wants their lands. I'm sorry, but as a young Indonesian queer woman, I was fucking livid at her audacity for plugging her tips and tricks on how to cheat the visa system to live an elevated life in Bali, while I'm stuck here in the closet in fear of persecution and struggling to make ends meet. Continuing the article, the thread was problematic for a variety of reasons, including the irresponsible labeling of Bali as queer-friendly, despite the fact that members of the LGBTQ community in Indonesia live in fear of persecution and are targeted by authorities and conservative groups. Her idea of low-cost living also points to a deeply entrenched issue that shouldn't be brushed off when talking about tourism in Bali, where US $400 rent is affordable for a visiting foreigner, but the provincial minimum wage is only about $177. She was also encouraging people to skirt immigration rules to get around the imposed travel restrictions during a pandemic, especially when Indonesia is struggling with controlling COVID. So it's just, it was a lot. And I am still not even like halfway into the article that's written about it because it's just so much. And I can definitely see why she blocked her Twitter account. Because, yeah. First off, embarrassing as hell. Second off, ignorant as hell. Third off, you got caught and deported for being dumb as hell and posting it. Like, you could have really just did a little brag about your life without going into all that detail and then moved on. But you want to put every single detail of what you did on the internet as if criminals don't get caught by putting what they've done on the internet all the time. Because this was a criminal act. And you are encouraging other people to do criminal acts. I mean, I guess she said that if the president can do it, she can do it too. But okay. When trying to flex goes wrong. So how do y'all feel about that? Like, what is your take on it? If you want to read the article and get more information, I don't really know what to type for it because I saw it on Twitter. The article I found is called On Foreigner Privilege, Gentrification and Racism, How One American Digital Nomad's Twitter Thread About Bali Sparked Backlash. So, something along those lines, American, deported from Bali, something along those lines, you'll find the article. I'm really interested in knowing like what you guys think of it after learning a little bit more about it, because I am quite interested. I didn't want to spend an hour talking about it and like reading through the article and everything or reading the responses. I just kind of wanted to give like a glimpse into it because it really interested me, because I'm like, first off, I did not know all this stuff about Indonesia. Did not know about it. Need to read more world news. Really do. Because the US news is not doing it for me. It's very US centric, ethnocentric. So I definitely need to read more world news and get more interested in the world, especially because I want to see the world and travel, and I'm learning different languages. Like, I'm learning Spanish and Chinese, and I need to go back to learning Korean. It's just that 3 languages at a time is so hard, and then Chinese is kind of easier to grasp than Korean. So I've just been like doing Chinese, and then Spanish is just Spanish. But no, Spanish is cool. I like it. Okay, you guys, that was pretty much it for everything right now. You can look out for part 2 later on this week. Turn your notifications on and subscribe if you haven't already, because I kind of post at random times and I don't know what days like bonus episodes are going to be yet. So just keep up with me and you won't regret it. Alright, love you guys. You are now leaving the Onaverse.